Okay, guys. Oh, shit, wait, hold on. wait, hold on. Alright, guys. It is a big day for the unemployment. I normally don't discuss drama on my channel. I just really wanted to kind of talk about ignore the PNG. This is what we have right now. I just really wanted to talk about this though. Because this is crazy. Hold on, wait, let me put this one. Wait. Wait, hold on. Wait, I'm thinking of something really funny put in text. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Never mind. No, I can't think of anything. I don't normally discuss drama on my channel. I just really wanted to talk about Yumetown because holy shit, okay, guys, I'm not sure if it's obvious enough, but I am a huge Yume shipper. You know, I'm a huge Yume shipper. I pretty much have the obvious. It's my Yume is like literally on my starting screen and my end screen. So, you know, I feel like it's important for me to get involved with topics like this because it's very like relevant to which I think it's really important to me. You know, self-shipping. I think that's really important to me. You know, it's just, you know, like, I think there's not really that much else to say about it. It's just, you know what I mean? Sorry, I know I'm just kind of rambling. I had like 4 cups of coffee and I've been so hyped. What else happened? So, yeah, so sorry. I'm making a stream because I really want to talk about the document that they made, and since I'm a person of color, a minority, queer individual, I don't know why I'm talking like this, sorry. I want to kind of give my voice and opinion about this. And when I say queer individual, I'm saying, like, I have a very, like, complex identity. So it's like I identify with multiple micro labels now. So this PNG you're seeing, it's very old. That's why I'm saying, like, queer individual, not like, because it's more than just, like, being gay and trans and all that stuff for me. It's, like, there's these other things that represent well with me. You know what I mean? So I just really wanted to talk about this and give my 2 cents. Fun fact, I used to be, and this isn't to like, I guess like get on Snowy's ass or anything. I used to be mutuals with the owner who made Yumetown. Mutuals, not friends. They seemed really cool. They seem that they still do. They still do. They seem really nice, but if they shouldn't. The thing is, I removed the block. I removed the block because I removed the follow because not only because of this drama, but also because I had a mutual of mine messaging me about Snowy and their behavior towards other like other people and the members, like just the way they treated the members in general. And like it's like one of the members there were like kind of getting harassed or something, and they were being accused of being a pro shipper with no evidence. And they messaged Snowy about this, and Snowy was just kind of like not caring about it, just not really giving a fuck. And still decided to have them banned. You know, they tried to talk to the other mods or blah whatever. And you know, Snowy still didn't do shit, and they kept them banned. So I'm not talking shit on Snowy. I think they're cool. You know, I just don't want. It's just weird, you know. That's just weird. You don't do that to people. You don't accuse them of doing something wrong and then not have any proof and then stay on that while like kind of trying to, you know, avoid the situation by pinning it onto someone else for someone else to do. Like, 'cause I don't know. Like, if the mods can't do their job right, and you're an owner of something that. You know, you're the owner. I think it should be brought up with you, and you shouldn't just let the mods just handle it on their own, because again, you are the owner. You are responsible for what's happening. And it's really hard for me to defend Snowy. Like, I can't defend Snowy. As much as I'm trying to talk as positive about them as much as I can, because I don't want to talk shit about anyone on my channel. That's not what I do. I want to try giving them the benefit of the doubt, but the problem is that I can't, because of just the kind of community that they let their community be. Like, you know, I think it's very safe for I think it's safe to say for other people that it's not safe to be in there, considering how toxic the community is. Not only the server, but also just like the community, like on Twitter. So I don't know. I'm just, again, not talking shit. You know, I think Snowy is a very sweet individual, but that's just my opinion. You know, yeah. This is like something really crazy. I'm trying to look for something else. All right, so we're gonna go over on. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Okay. So we're gonna go over the document. Is this the one page one? No, okay, it's this one. Okay, so we're gonna, yeah, okay, it was this one. So we're gonna read all of this. We're gonna address everything about this, and then we're gonna read the post and everything. Let me make this a bit bigger. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay. Is this readable? Wait. My fault. Wait. Wait. Shit. Once I move my. Wait. What did I move? Wait. Let me. No, wait. Wait. Okay. Let me. Wait. Let me. Hold on. Let me try. Is this good? No. Fuck. Wait. Let me move this down a bit. My fault. I was prepared old stream to do this, but I didn't realize how this would kinda. Fuck. Hold on. Wait. Wait. Hold on. I'm so cooked. Wait. Wait. Okay. 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 It's perfect. 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 Wait. Hold on. If you guys saw how difficult this is while I'm doing this, you would understand. Okay. And just checking. That's okay. Yeah, so we're gonna read this. Let me make sure this captures my cursor. Alright. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh. Oh, what happened? What just happened? Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what? What just happened? What? Okay. What the flip? Do I? What the actual hell just happened? It's not letting me show anymore. Okay, whatever. So. Alright, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready. Alright, so, addressing the transphobia and racism in Yumetown. So this was before the new document came out today. Again, I am a minority speaking up about my opinion on this. You know, I just want to talk about this because it's something that, you know, it's a topic that I'm very, like, passionate for. So let's talk about this, alright? Addressing the transphobia and racism in Yumetown. This document was created to address the growing concerns and discussions happening both within and outside the Discord server. We are aware of the discourse regarding recent moderation decisions, community discomfort, and broader issues surrounding the inclusivity of Yumetown. Over the past, also, I'm gonna just say this here. I've seen some of the, I haven't read any of these documents. I've actually tried to avoid reading these because I didn't realize how far, the drama went, and, so I was just like, what was I doing? Wait, I was just like, you know what? Why not just go over in a stream one day or something? Wait, no, fuck, sorry. I'm like, my brain's like kind of messed up from like the amount of caffeine I just drank. Okay, I'm talking about okay, so when this first document, because this was the first document released, right? It was this one, and this one's the 11-page document. The other one right here is the 7-page document, right? So this is the 11-page one. This was the first one that came out when people were talking about the concerns of the Yumetown drama. I didn't read the document. I saw the quotes. I was like, yeah, no, this is kind of fucked up. Like, I'm seeing other people talk about this. Even then, the Yumetown Discord server still was not deleted. Like, cool, whatever, right? And then it's just so stupid because, like, then this happens. like the new document comes out, and I'm seeing people like, nah, just delete it already. And I'm like, nah, now I gotta read this. Now I really gotta read this. So this is what we're reading. And yeah, so just know I'm reading this completely like blind. Like, I'm reading this like blind. Like I'm reacting blindly to this. Like, because I don't know what's happening. I'm just new to this information. I just know that the Yumetown discourse was problematic, and that it was being like genuinely, transphobic and racist from the screenshots I've seen, which I do have, and I will show in a while. But yeah, that's what I know. There. Over the past week, we have seen growing frustration and moderation actions, perceived biases, and broader issues related to safety and inclusivity. While some of these conversations come from a place of genuine concern, others have led to the spread of misinformation and harassment. As a moderation team, it is important to address these matters and be transparent with the community that has been affected by the actions of staff and members within the space. The community was created the community was created to be an affirming space for UA shippers, artists, and marginalized voices. Our values have not changed, but our attitudes towards keeping those values have surely wavered, and others around us have suffered. You are not real. You are not real. You are not real. What do you mean suffered? I'm sorry. What do you mean suffered? I'm sorry. Hold on. What do you mean by suffered? You've had shitty moderators do their shitty moderation job and acted like and didn't care about people breaking the rules from what I've seen, and just did their job shitty. What do you mean suffer, dude? What do you mean suffered? Like, they're acting, I'm sorry, whoever wrote this document, which I'm pretty sure is Snowy, seeing by the double spacing, Snowy is treating the situation as if, no, not treating, sorry. They're addressing the situation as if like, how do I say this? They're treating the situation as if this was like a one kind of thing. Like, this was like a really toxic moderator just being like shitty behind the scenes and treating everyone like shit. When it wasn't just a one exclusive person for this whole event. It was multiple moderators throughout this whole event. So what do you mean suffered? Nobody suffered through shit. You have had poor moderation. You have had poor admins treating the server and the people in it like absolute dog shit. What do you mean suffered? Like, I'm trying so hard to think about this, to word this as politely as I can. It's just, I don't know. They're making it, I don't know, that's just the best I can word it, honestly. They're making it seem like it was a one thing and one individual has done, and they don't address anything else. It's just, I mean, they don't address like, I guess they do address it, but it's very poorly from what I've seen and from some screenshots I've seen in other people's posts. But I just don't like the way this is worded. It's worded very weirdly. I have a bone to pick with this wording. What happened was wrong and should have never occurred. But the thing is, it did occur multiple times. Throughout the server, I'm pretty sure more on like at some point you must have had to have been like there. Like you kind of neglected these problems in your server. You turned your back on, like, there's no way you couldn't have known this until up until now. Up until now, there's no way you couldn't have had known this. There's really no way you couldn't have had known this until now. What does that mean? What do you mean it should have never occurred? You are the owner. This is your responsibility. This server is your responsibility. Like yeah, it's wrong, but then the moderators aren't like should be there to you should either get better moderators who are there 24/7 because it's a really big fucking server. These people should be getting paid. I'm sorry, these people should literally be getting paid. Either that or you get like either that or you just don't have the server at all. Because if you're so busy to the point where you need moderators to do your job for you and they're not telling you anything about what's happening in the server, you're dismissing problems that members themselves come up to you about, like all that shit, if you're doing all of that, you simply should not be having a server with around thousands of people. That should be said without being done. Or that should be done without being said. Yeah, that should be done without being said. Because I just, like, I don't know. This is, like, pissing me off, actually. This is pissing me off so badly. Because I'm reading this, right? Okay, I just noticed it's two different people writing this. You see the double spacing and you see another person writing this. So I'm assuming from the other document that we have right now, the 7 document one, the other one that we're going to read after this, it's that person as well because they only type with 1 letter spacing and that was reposted by Snowy. So I'm pretty sure that person also worked on this. So I don't know. Either that or this is just. It's probably that. I don't know because this has like this is like 1 spacing and then you have like normal spacing and you have like all this and this is really hard to read, by the way. This is I hate this. The staff have a responsibility to protect space for behavior and that endangers its members and goes against our principles. We deeply apologize for our community. No, I don't think you care, actually, Snowy. You had a mutual of mine literally came up to you and was like, hey, I got banned in your community, and was accused of being and the reason why was I was being accused of being a pro shipper when there was no evidence guaranteed so, and your response to that person was to keep them banned, even after that person had acknowledged to you that there was zero evidence that they were indeed a pro shipper. Zero fucking evidence, and yet you kept them banned. And they banned that mutual of mine based off of just like a he shed, she shed kind of thing. Like a hearsay. It was a hearsay. There was no evidence. Either that or it was a misunderstanding, if I can recall. But it was definitely like a hearsay kind of thing. And like I don't know. It's just so stupid. I don't like this lying bullshit. I don't like this lying bullshit, honestly. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. So no, I don't think you apologize at all. Actually, I don't think you even care. I don't think you care because why does it have to be to this point where now it's like people are going to you saying like, oh, you know, this and this and that happened. Like, I just don't get it. Sorry, okay. I think, alright. I see it, alright. We would like to take the opportunity to clarify on situations that have been circulating, as well as if I was in Yumetown, how we plan to improve and move forward. But yeah, I don't like false accusations. Don't do that, because you actually are endangering people. You actually are endangering people. You're endangering real people to harassment. Even if they were a pro shipper, you're endangering actual people to real life harassment. You're endangering actual people to real life actual fucking harassment. That's sickening. And I don't like this fake caring bullshit. I really don't like that. Alright. Addressing concerns, racism and staff diversity. Yumetown has a zero tolerance policy for bigotry, discrimination, whether based on race, ethnicity, gender, identity, culture, religion, goes against our values. It is not tolerated under any circumstances. To clarify, there are currently no black staff members on the team. Oh, no wonder. No wonder. Actually, I remember I saw a post. I remember I think a few weeks ago, I saw a post of or maybe this was like right after post. I don't know, but I remember I saw a member or something like make an African joke or something, saying like ooga booga or some shit like that, and I don't know. I was apparently they were black, but I also looked in the replies, and I think they were like a staff or something. So I don't know. Maybe this was changed up after, but I assumed that maybe that person was like a staff moderator, based off the context of kind of what the people are giving in the replies. If you know the post, you know. It's like, you know, but I don't know, maybe that changed. Maybe I'm just kind of, like, I'm not, like, remembering things very correctly, but I don't know. That's what I know. This must have been so hard to type. What do you mean you have to type, like, what is this? Wait, I'm trying to count how many spaces. 1, 2. Oh. There's no way you had to type like 2 spaces each sentence, each word. Not word, but like between each word, you know what I mean? I love how the B is capitalized in black. It's like the Nutella logo. It's like the Nutella logo. Sorry. Okay, continue. While cultural, ethnicity, or ethnic background was not taken into consideration, nor asked in the questionnaire during the hiring process, we have realized it is important to have diverse perspectives during the moderation, decisions, and supporting our community. Okay, let me just say, right? Hold on. Let me drink more coffee. As a black person, I don't think it's necessary to have your entire staff woke. Sorry. It's like so woke. It's so woke in here. It's so woke in here. Sorry. It's just woke. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm woke for saying it's too woke. All right. I just don't think it's necessary. Like if you want, that's like, I think if you want to hire someone who's black and you want to put them into like, you know, charge of your moderation and stuff of your staff, etc., then I think, yeah, that's important. I think, yeah, you should totally do that. But it's just if you want to. It's not like yeah, it's important, but like it's not necessarily as important that one would think so. It doesn't matter. I think that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you come from. I think, you know, we all come from different backgrounds, you know? I don't see color. I mean, sorry. I don't see, I like, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, bro. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it matters at the end of the day. Whether if you want to have, like, a black moderator on your team or not. Well, not, and if you don't want them on your team, it's not because of their race, obviously. But, like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. Um, so, if they want to add, like, a black moderator, that's cool. But, you know, um, I think, for such a, because, like, here's the thing, though. Like, I can kind of see half and half now that I'm talking about it. I think what I'm trying to get at here, though, is that I think if you're gonna own, okay, let me rephrase everything I just said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, okay. If you're gonna have a moderator surrounded by a community that has a lot of misogyny, bigotry, racism, sexism, blah 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 blah, blah like in it, and especially if that's overpopulating the majority of the community, then yeah, of course, totally. You should have like a black moderator in your server, right? To moderate and stat, like, I think that would be important. Um, but I'm saying if it's in general, it's not generally required. You know what I mean? It's like it's not always gonna be like that important. But if your server is about a community that does have a lot of racism rooted into it, then yeah, I think there should be a moderator who is black, and especially if it's like one of the most popular servers surrounded and based off of that community alone by itself, and named after. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. Um, that's what I'm gonna say about that, though. But yeah, I think it is important to have a black moderator on your server, but it's not required. I think it's generally just like the most common, basic thing to do. Because if you're gonna have okay, let me say, like, if you're gonna have a bunch of white, like, staff on the team, none of them know how to do anything, or none of them know how to, like, properly handle, like, racist jokes. Like, for example, if a black person made, like, a black joke, if a black person made, like, if, like, a black person made a racist joke about themselves and a white person saw that and just banned them, I do think it's really important for a black moderator to kind of, like, give that member the benefit of the doubt, considering how they're also black and they're allowed to make that joke about themselves. That's just my personal take on it. Um, what else? What was I gonna say? But yeah, you know, um, but you guys are understand what I'm meaning. Um, but as far as I can tell, nobody has ever really made a joke like that well, as far as I know, nobody has ever really made a joke about themselves being black, um, who are black in the server. So, I don't know. I haven't been in the server. I haven't been there, but it's like it's cool. I'm just saying. That's just my stance on it. I know I keep on switching my words, but it's just because I'm thinking about it and I talk about it and I realize, oh, maybe I want this and that. So that's just what I mean. Therefore, we are actively prioritizing improving representation and inclusivity within the team in the near future when Yumetown opens staff applications. Or, right? What is the point? Oh, I hate this. I hate you. I hate you all. What is the point of opening an application where people can apply to be staff if you're gonna shut down the server a month before, even like a month, not a month, like a day after making this document, probably 7 hours, right? After making this document. Oh my gosh, I know 24 hours is 24 hours is a day, whatever. Cool. I'm just saying, like, somewhere in the day, you close down the server. So what is the point in opening up staff applications, saying, oh yeah, we need more diverse, people of color in our staff to, be more representative and blah blah blah, just to make this statement and then close your server, so that way people who are people of color and are good at moderation, have experience in moderation, can't even join your server or fill out the application. Especially when you're like opening the applications like in the near future. What the fuck does that mean? You're postponing the applications where potential like people of color can join. So there's no fucking point. There's no point even saying, oh yeah, we should do this now, because the server has been closed for like months. It has been closed for months. And as far as I've seen, people can't even leave Yumetown in the community. Yeah, they can't leave in the community. Like, they can't leave in the let me try finding it. They cannot leave, dude. These people cannot leave. Leaving is not an option, right? Like, it's like they shut down, they pause the invites for everything. They pause down the invites for the community. It is really useless to leave. Also, this is not my screenshot, by the way. This is credits to the person who posted this. I just found much as I could before I streamed this, so let that be known. Yeah, this is just stupid though. This whole paragraph pisses me off. Restriction. Sorry. Okay. The restriction of slurs. What the fuck? Yumetown Discord has a rule that bans the use of old slurs within a server, including old racial, homophobic, and discriminatory language. In order, like, there's like something in my nose every time I speak. And discriminatory language. In order to enforce this rule, we utilize Dinobot's automod function that automatically flags and blocks slurs that have been added into its filter system. Oftentimes, it's a standard protocol for Discord servers to prevent potential abuse of slurs against minorities. Does it ban members who can reclaim the slur? Does it do that? Because if that's the thing, then that's bad. You should at least, if someone says a slur that they can reclaim, well, reclaim or not, you should at least put them in a timeout. You know what I mean? At least put them in a timeout for like a week, and then warn them. I think that's necessary. Especially if your server is like a strictly like no slur allowed kind of like thing. I think that's pretty much necessary, no? You would think? Our perspective on this is as follows. We believe this server is simply not the place for slurs to be reclaimed, even in a light-hearted manner. Okay, yeah, so I was right. Yumetown is a large server, and there is a chance that members of the affected minority and racial discriminatory slurs being reclaimed would foster an uncomfortable environment. Furthermore, potentially encourage a space where slurs can be used against minorities, which is... That's what slurs are! Slurs are used against minorities. Whether if you're that minority or not, I don't understand this. It's literally a definition of what slur means. That's literally the definition of what slur means. But okay, continue. With this issue, it poses a difficult task for staff to decipher, and dissect when members are reclaiming slurs versus members using slurs as a means of discrimination. However, understand that we are very open to all perspectives on this matter and encourage people to share their thoughts. Decisions made within Yumetown are based on the general principles that ultimately promote healthy communities, as well as assumptions that members act in good faith. What does this mean? I'm sorry. What does this mean? So you can't just talk about being open to thoughts while talking about how people can abuse slurs against minorities, and then say, oh yeah, well, you know, even if you do say a slur that you potentially cannot reclaim, then you should be in good faith. I don't know. Like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe use an example, whatever, cool, yeah, whatever. Or explain what it is. But like, if you're talking about racism and bigotry and all this shit that you just listen, you can't later on just say, oh yeah, well then they must have used it in good faith. Especially when you had just said, when you were just talking about how members, even they can reclaim it or not, gets automatically flagged. And the slurs itself can be used to harm those people, those groups of people. What do you mean? This makes no sense. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Shut up. Furthermore, shut up. Why is the only slur being talked about the N slur, not the other slurs? Okay. Never mind. Actually, no. Why is the N-word the only issue here? Why is the N-word being talked about by a non-black person? The people are not the only minorities here. There are other people of colors that you should talk about, that you should discuss. Including disabled people. Disabled people are also a minority. We are grouped people of oppression. Oh, no, wait. We are grouped people who have been victimized by being oppressed. Like, why? This is really pissing me off, because why is a white person talking? Sorry, I think from what I've read, like, snowy is Japanese. I don't know. I'm gonna just say like a non-black person. Why is a non-black person talking about? Why is a non-black person talking about like black people issues? Like, already the first thing I see is the N slur, and I'm just like, okay, because like what does the N word have to do with anything? When you were just talking about, slurs in a general group, wait, yeah, you were just talking about slurs in a general context, meaning it's slurs against groups of, minoritized people. So that can mean like that can literally mean like disabled people. That can mean like Asian people, Native Americans, like so many other groups of the people that I can't think of right now that comes to mind. Other than just those three other groups. Because there's just so many. You know what I mean? And there's, like, I just don't get it. Why are... Okay. Made more allegations that we banned a member because they raised concerns about the answer being an automod. To elaborate, this member was not banned for this. Then why word it like that? It was another completely reason unrelated. However, the ban described being unrelated, unreasonable as the unrelated reasons not warrant the ban, and the ban was not approved by other staff before being issued. The moderator who banned that member unbanned immediately after staff members spoke with them, and has since apologized and cleared things out with the member, including everything regarding the answer. So, this person, presuming to be black, went up to moderator, was like, "Hey, why is the N-word banned in your server when black people can reclaim it?" I don't know. I'm assuming not. I'm assuming that's probably the argument. Staff member assumes their ethnicity, assumes that they're white or something, bans member, and that's what's causing the issue. I don't understand the context for this. We need more context, because this feels more like Snowy is kind of victimizing the situation. That's the best way I can describe it. It feels like Snowy's victimizing the situation. Victimizing not only themselves, but the entire server, just everyone else. You know? Like, and what I mean by that is that they're making it, they're like trying to make it seem not as bad as it did. Because with the lack of context that we have for this and the confusing wording, that's what I can only assume. I feel like they brought this up just to kind of downplay what happened. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's just me, though. That's just me. That's just me. But that's what leads to my other like rant though about what I was saying about like black about like a block that's what I was saying about like a black moderator being on the team. A black moderator should a black moderator should be in the team. It let me, I'm trying to speak. It's so hard. They should be able to decipher what is and isn't racist. A non-black moderator should not be handling issues that surround black people. It's not their voice. Especially if another like moderator has to go to him and is like, "Yeah, bro, you went too far in this one. Don't do that again." You know what I mean? It's just like I don't understand the point of that. I don't think the logic. Make things clear. The moderator who what? I'm so confused. Okay, where is this coming from? Okay, let me just say this, right? If you want to type out a slur, for example, the N-word, maybe like just censor the second letter. Maybe just censor the second letter or something, or just type in N-word instead of the actual slur itself. I feel like people will understand what the fuck you're talking about when you say the N-word. That's generally common sense. It's a general common sense thing to understand. That's something like that's basic knowledge. People know what the fuck the N-word is. Always with the N-word. Like, people know what that means. Automute slash NSFW. Over the past week, staff have begun to realize that the concerning increase in NSFW topics was a consistent issue happening across the server. Okay, I'm sorry. How what is Yume what is the age range for Yume Twitter? Because this is very concerning. I have seen something about a another YouTuber, I forgot. There was this YouTuber who was kind of in some hot water for having um a server where everyone was all ages, like 13 to I think 30, which is crazy. Like some like to like mid 30s, which is crazy. Yeah, 13 to mid like 30s, and they had a simping channel. I doubt, not doubt. I also like this also probably happened in like the other channels too, but I think it increased more in the simping channel, where people kept talking sexually, about characters in front of like minors. And there was like a 13-year-old, I think, in that chat around that time, and the YouTuber in question kind of got in some hot water for it. There was like a document posted about them, if I can recall, and they were kind of getting canceled for like engaging with it or something. I don't know, but like the YouTuber in question stepped up and was like, "Yeah, hey, don't make jokes like this," which wasn't very effective. I mean, like, if they stepped in and like was like, "Hey, like, yeah, don't do that," like, I don't see the problem. Since that wasn't since the document claimed that that was encouragement or something, I'm just like, that makes no fucking sense. That makes no sense. Um, like, no, you're not encouraging anything by telling people to stop talking sexually about about a character in front of a minor. Like, I think that's a pretty common thing to do. You shouldn't ever do that, you know? Like, there should be a separate server where you can do that, where you should at least verify your age, government ID, whatever. You know what I mean? I just don't get the logic there. Like, I don't get the I mean, sorry. I just don't get the logic where that's considered endangering, where you're stepping up and saying, "Hey, that's not cool, don't do that." If that makes sense. Sorry. I don't have good wording. Um, that's what I'm talking about though. So, I'm just saying, I don't think here's the thing though, if we're gonna have an automat sorry. If we're gonna have an automod where we're talking where it's about like slurs and stuff, you should at least have an automat too where it's also discussing something very NSFW. And when you and also this like this fucking sentence right there already shows me how neglectful the not only the owner is, but also the staff as well. Every single moderator in this situation are neglectful about the whereabouts of what's happening in the server, about the reoccurring issues, the constantly reoccurring issues that are happening in the server, which I think is disgusting. It's disgusting. You see, it's constantly like NSFW topic, but you're saying, and I'm assuming, right? This isn't like a staff just saw this and was just like, yeah, like they saw like, one sexual comment and was just like kind of brushing it off. You see these comments reoccurring and you don't do anything to step in and be like, hey, don't do that. You don't warn the person, you don't try to set up like bigger like you don't try to set up bigger like bigger tools to stop that from happening. Like I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. Why aren't you doing that? You're not protecting kids. And I'm really am assuming this is just like an old ages server. Because believe it or not, people are like that. This violates rule number 7. Do not send images, videos, or messages that contain explicit content, whether it would be graphic or lighthearted. You may not have an SMW username or picture user or profile picture either. Okay, fair. That should be like generally just like common sense. Like just, don't do that shit, you know what I mean? Due to multiple issues regarding the topic of NSFW in the space, multiple issues, mind you, look at multiple issues. They've seen this issue recur multiple times and yet have neglected the issue to do that. They have neglected that choice, that option. Hold on. Sorry, I'm looking at something. I'm scared. Okay. Wait. Okay. My fault. Alright. Anyway, ignore. Alright, so due to multiple issues regarding the topic of NSFW in the space, many individuals were attempting to bypass and or challenge the server violations. This resulted in higher staff taking many steps to manually log certain SFW phrases that were commonly utilized in sexual content in Yumetown, including but not limited to goon such gooning, pegging, nodding, jerking it, all of that stuff. Top and bottoming? What the fuck is bottoming? Kinks and fetishes. Furthermore, there were users who joined the community that had H+ names. To abide by the protocol, we had to change them to a moderated nickname. Yumetown is a mixed age community. Okay. This is definitely an old age server then, including minors. As such, it is our responsibility to maintain an environment. Hold on. Let me find something. Oh, wait. Fuck, I can't find it. Wait. crazy how it's been taking me an hour and I already have so much to say. Because I came in this stream, like, just, like, I started this stream where you're just talking things, right? Being reasonable. This shit is pissing me off so badly. As such, it is our responsibility to maintain an environment that is suitable for everyone. It is a necessity to uphold the values of the server that protects younger, vulnerable minors. And in an attempt to mediate the discussions of NSFW, we have recognized that certain terms, such as topping, were being used innocently in non-sexual contexts. How? How can you use that? How can you use that phrase in a non-sexual context? Can someone explain that to me? That makes no sense. As a result, we have removed certain words from the automod immediately after finding out they were unfairly flagged. No, I think people should honestly just watch what kind of phrasing they're saying, because I've never heard of NSW terms being used in a non-sexual way. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before. Over censoring casual conversations and lighthearted discussions was not the intention of staff, but to protect minors and community who express discomfort regarding behaviors listed above. Why not just keep it on, though? Why not just tell people, hey, we have automod where it automatically flags certain like phrases that are connected to NSFW topics. Please have better wording. Like, if you use these phrases, no matter what context, you'll get flagged. So please make better choices, make better words, make it more sense. Because now you're gonna have people take advantage of this. Now that you've removed the phrases. You know what I mean? So I don't understand that logic, man. I really don't. In the future, if the Yumetown were to reopen, we hope to allow small, lighthearted conversations surrounding the topic, as long as it does not escalate into a discussion that creates an uncomfortable setting. Fanning / meeting members who are people of color. Okay. Alright, we're in a very deep slope. Alright. This, I don't know, either this might be, I haven't read this yet, right? We haven't read this. But either it's gonna be like something like really stupid, or, and I'm saying really stupid. I'm saying really stupid because people like to say, like, they like to break a rule, and then they're like, "Oh, you muted me," when it's like they broke a rule. Or, so I'm just saying, right? It's either that, or this is like rightful criticism. Like, this is like, yeah, hey, like, don't do that. You shouldn't do this to someone who's like a person of color. It's either those two. I'm really scared. I'm gonna shit my pants. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Oh my god. Many of the staff are people of color. Okay. Huh? Including those of Asian and Hispanic / Latino descent. Hey, why are we? Hey, buddy. Hey, didn't we just say we don't have moderators? Hold on. Huh? Excuse me? Hold on. I'm not tripping, right? We just read out how there's no moderators. Okay. So there's no black members. Okay. Okay. I thought I was tripping. Okay. What the fuck? I was so confused. Okay. Okay. Hispanic slash Latino. Hispanic. Hispanic is not the same thing as Latino. It's not. Why? What is the little slash there? Why is the slash there necessary? It's not. As someone who is Afro-Latino, I can safely say they're not the same thing. There's different terms, there's different words to use. And I shouldn't really have to explain it. To make it clear, a member's race slash nationality has no influence on our moderation decisions. Okay. Yeah, so okay. Actions created within the server are based on rule violations. There is nothing that allows staff to know the race of a member unless we take extensive effort to search for it, which is irrational. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so this is just some this is some stupid woke shit. People, regardless of your regardless of like color you are, if you are gonna break a rule, expect moderators especially to mute you or warn you or kick you or time you out. Not kick as in like physically, obviously, but like kick you out of the server. That's not racist. That's not racism. That doesn't have anything to do with being that has nothing to do with you being a person of color. That means you broke a rule and a staff is doing their job. This is pissing me off so badly. You should not have to address this. That's okay. It's okay. You don't have to address this. You really don't. This is such a stupid thing to address because it's someone breaking a rule who just so happens to be a person of color. Like, you're not gonna know everyone's ethnicity or race or whoever, unless like there's like roles. But even then, people can lie about like what they are at the end of the day. So you won't really ever know. But like, there are people of color roles. If you do have something like that, you know what I mean? In your server, then like, yeah, you can know, but like it wouldn't have anything to do with their race, you know, like it's nothing like discriminatory, unless it is, if it is, but they're saying right here it's not, and that they have no control over who is a person of color and who isn't. We do not treat anyone differently because of their race. Above all, we prioritize mediating and implementing the warning system that hopes to maintain a respectful environment for the community. Furthermore, we will show a list of reasons by every member that has ever been muted / banned since the opening of the server. Is this necessary? Okay, hold on. This isn't necessary because you're not showing... Huh? Okay, so server's 15 plus. Okay. Okay. So I'm confused. Wait. This isn't necessary. This really is not necessary. You don't have to track everyone who was banned. Who was, like, I don't know. That's not necessary. Especially when it has nothing to do with this. And if someone's claiming, hey, you're banning members because they're a person of color, and you just give out like a bunch of like people who are banned stuff on your list, It's not necessary. It's really not. It's really not. Furthermore, we will show lists of reasons why every member has something. Yeah. 5 members in total. The reasons. We have muted 5 members in total. The reasons for each are below. Number 1, continuously showing support for endogenic systems. Number 2, consistent venting in general. 1. Number 3 and 4, both making transferable comments to another member who were banned shortly after. Number 5, consistently provoking the auto mod. We have banned 15. We have been 17 members in total. The reasons for each are below. That's bullshit. Your server is full of thousands of people. Don't. Even then, if this is actually true, like, I don't know. I think there's only so little people banned because of how neglectful the moderation staff team is. I'm sorry, someone had to say it. Someone had to say it, right? Like, I don't know. There shouldn't only be like 17 banned people out of the thousands of people who you have banned in your server. I mean, who you have in your server, not banned, sorry. There shouldn't be dozens of people, like groups of dozens of people, meaning like 10, 15, 20, who are banned in your server out of all the thousands of people in your server who have at least broken a rule and has gotten, like, you know, hasn't gotten any repercussions for it, or any like warning from staff or mod, like, you know, there's people who do that. This also doesn't really show people who have been like warned or anything. This also even then, if these, and I know it's possible for them to keep track of this because, you know, the reasons why we list down below, but these really are the, I doubt any of these really are the reasons as to why. Well, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, well, these things aren't real, but like, if this claim were to be true, it's very, 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 very easy for staff moderation to simply take advantage of this, to exaggerate a situation with a member who might have been like, who the staff might have known to be a person of color, and, you know, might have just like written down the rule and just like exaggerated to look for a reason to ban that person, which is that's things that people do. So I think it's really, you know, like, I don't know. I think you know, you should have like some sort of like blacklist channel or something, posted with screenshots with every member who has been banned, because like this is not, I don't know, you know, especially with screenshots, like attach screenshots onto it, just so that like you don't have to make this claim. You don't have to like reinstate this accusation in a document that addresses your that addresses problems within your own server that you poorly moderate. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Yeah, we have been 17 members in total. The reasons for each are below. Number 1, having public fictional other based on rude criminal. Got flow. History of problematic behavior, being under 15. History of harassing, stalking. Continuous of dirty jokes despite multiple warnings. Repeatedly disrespecting soul boundaries despite multiple warnings. Made racist remarks. Surely discovered it was a joke and they were the race the joke was about. Thus, the ban was quickly removed. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. If this is the case, though, I personally think if you were saying, oh yeah, no search under any circumstances, you should not be unbanning someone from making a joke, regardless if they are that race they are talking about. Especially if your server's that strict, you shouldn't really be making any what do you call it, any like exceptions, because if a moderator sees that you made a racist joke, and like for example, like a member who is like black makes like a joke about themselves being black, like, but makes like a racist joke about themselves. Moderator sees this, bans member reaches out, hey, I'm black, unbans them. And then when that member is unbanned, the other moderators can see the joke in whatever channel, and can ban them again, even though it's already resolved. Because that can cause a lot of issues. Even if you do, like, you know, even if you do, like, you know, if you want to be respectful, cool, whatever. But if your server is that strict, I don't think there should be any exceptions. Being a mixed origin system, what does that mean? Along speaking out of support and endogenic system. I'm sorry, what does this mean? What does this mean? Wait. Huh? Wait, actually, what does this mean? Hold on, let me search this up real quick. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Wait. Okay, let me see this. All right. Plural media. Hold on. Mixed origin refers to a system that has multiple different system origins. This could be because their system formed of form a combination of factors, or that, or not all their or not all their headmates are of the same origin. Okay, my fault. Not read this. All right, back. So, make sure everything's on. Desktop audio. To mic. One. Okay. Problematic history. Problematic FO. Fictional author. Consistently provoking other members were banned unlayered due to the ban being unwarranted. What does that mean? You make a real person? I've seen. Hold on. Let me search this up. I've seen some. Wait. Hold on. Um. Hold on. I've seen some like controversy kind of talking about this. So, from what I've seen, this literally just means like. Oh wait, hold on. You guys kind of can't see. Sorry. This is literally just what it means. Wait, oops. Almost actually ended stream. Oh my god, I had a panic attack for a second. I almost panicked for a second. Um, that's literally just what it means. That's what I got. I don't know how to pronounce that. That's what it means though. This is. So I don't understand. Yeah. So I don't understand how you can allow these like, cause like UA shipping is like an umbrella term for multiple other different things. So I'm gonna just try to pronounce. How do I pronounce it? Wait, let me try pronouncing this. Google Translate. Okay, done. All right. Yeah, that's really for me. So, Gashikoi. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Um, hold on. All right. Yeah. So I don't understand how you. Okay, I'm a little bit uneducated on like the majority of some of these like um Yume Yume Joshi terms. But from what I know, Gashikoi is also people also use the term Gachikoi um to self-ship with real people. So I don't know. They said they're pretty open to like people being gachikois, sorry. Gachikois. So I just don't understand what's the problem when you have actually have one. I don't know. Again, correct me, right? I don't understand anything about that specifically because I only know Yumi Joshi, Yumi Joshi. Um, because that's kind of the main term I identify with. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Yamajoshi. Yame. Yame Joshi. I don't know. Um, that's just kind of what I know, you know. But I don't know. Again, like, feel free to educate me. I don't know that much. Again, I'm not very. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just correct me. I'll try to do research after this stream, but for now, I'll just keep streaming. Um, I'll make a second stream about this if I have to. Probably just I don't know. Probably that would be necessary. Maybe I'll just like make a comment and just pin it. But yeah. Uh, 1516, both making transphobic comments to another member, or person. Transphobia slash trans misogyny. We will now be addressing the concerns about transphobia slash trans misogyny occurring in the server and the mod team's stance on everything. Firstly, we will be discussing the case that happened on June 16th. I, Snowy, was involved with handling this case, and I'd like to write about this from both a general standpoint as well as my point of view. I was given permission by the person targeted by this transphobic attack to disclose names of all parties involved and to show screenshots of all messages shared with me. Any user left anonymous was either discussing something off topic or were defending the person being attacked. But then that warrants for that said person to be attacked, Or to yeah. I don't know. I think you should just keep everyone in this certain case, you should just keep everyone anonymous. You didn't ask the people who in the screenshot, you didn't ask those people if they wanted to be in the screenshots or not. So it's not really fair for you to only ask the victim and not the other people who are also defending the victim as well. That's just insensitive. I don't know. Text has been added below under each screenshot since Google Documents can display images with low quality. Sir, this is Yumetown General. Nobody goes outside here. I mean, woman, LMAO, WTF. Oh yeah, I've seen this. I've seen the screenshot. I saw the thread. Yeah, I've seen this before. Okay, buddy, miss, this is a Yumetown General. Nobody goes outside here. Transphobia. Please, I can't tell if you're being serious right now. I am. Okay, silly goose, for calling out transphobia. Hold on. Honestly, I think the unnecessary. Okay, let me just say this, right? As a trans person, I I think the original reference, like, wait, hold on. The original comment that clown person made was clearly a reference. There's a reference called "Sir, this is Wendy. Sir, this is Wendy's. You can go here" or something. Um, that's what the original meme is. I've seen the meme before. Obviously, it's been a while since I've seen it before. Um, but it's clearly a reference. So I don't understand this logic. I mean, I don't understand the logic of calling the reference itself transphobic when the original reference had nothing to do with anyone being trans. If I recall correctly, I don't know. Let me look. Wait. Let me look. I don't want to be wrong. Okay, yeah, hold on. This is hold on. Okay, yeah, so I think I was just misremembering a different meme. Um, that might have had similar like wording. But the original meme that this is being referenced as has nothing to do with a trans person being involved or trans people at all. This is the reference. Oh, wait, shit. Hold on. Wait, whoops. This has nothing to do with trans people being involved. So I'm really like I don't know. I'm not defending the person by the way or anything. I'm just really confused because this is the original reference. Yeah, that's the original meme. Um, obviously it's not mine, so um, that's I'm just so confused. This is literally it. This is literally it. Um, okay, wait. Okay, I was looking at something. All right. Um, but yeah, I do think the clown's person reaction was not very polite. And it was definitely not necessary. It's very rude. Um, but it's not transphobic. I mean, I don't unless it's like I don't know. I don't think it's very serious for this to be really called misgender. I don't think it's just for like unless there were pronouns or something. Um, unless there were pronouns like in that person's like profile, then I can kind of see how it would be misgendering. Um, but you don't know someone's pronouns unless they tell you. And even then, that was a reference to a meme. So it's not the same thing as misgendering because misgendering has malicious intent, to purposefully, um, to purposefully like dehumanize an identity, and that can also be in this, in this context, it can also be like of a trans person, and it can also mean like not respecting their gender identity. So, I don't know. I just oh, oh it's Tuesday today. Okay. But yeah, yeah, I don't think that warrants for that to be called transphobic. Cause I understand being upset by that. I get that, right? But I think you should either maybe just be like, hey, like that joke made me uncomfortable, or just ignore it and move on. There is really no need for this post to really be made. Um, yeah. Okay, so the girls for Contractopia, pack up, don't worry, grandma. I'm just taking my soul folks home. Y'all only care if it was a trans man getting called a woman. I'm confused. Where is this comment coming from? I know you're retweeting. I was gonna play along for the funnies, but I just wanted to tell you your random profile effect is really cool. She's being serious, so you misgendered her, and when she corrected you, you were all condescending and then misgendered her again. Oh, I'm so sorry. Flixburg. Oops, I'm. Welcome to the mods in the server. Hello. Then why did you continue to censor someone, bro? Don't blame being for some color or to just say you're fucking sorry, twin. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of screenshots missing, but I remember these. I remember those screenshots though, but I don't remember like. Yeah, I feel like there's more screenshots, but if they did continue to misgender her, then that's really fucked up. That's really fucked up. And then I think at that point it does warrant like transphobia. But if there is like if there are screenshots being purposefully being taken out of context by Snowy, which I'm sure there are because I don't know, then I think it's you know necessary even to kind of say that that's transphobic because it kept them going. In the above screenshots, Cream sends replies correcting people of her gender and was faced with unreasonable ridicule from Ash and Clown. The two members displaying transphobic behavior were initially muted for 1 hour after the first screenshot, and then were banned. The mute was to last for 6 hours. They were both banned 20 minutes after the mute. So, this was the first screenshot y'all saw, and then just decided to mute them? Question mark? You didn't see their initial reaction after that reply. You didn't see if they maybe corrected themselves. You just see you see them kind of correcting themselves, but it's in a disrespectful way. These people are clearly confused because again, that's reference to a meme. Even then, I don't think, using a meme is okay to misgender someone. Like, obviously, that's never okay. I'm just really confused why you see the first screenshot and then assume that's yeah, well, that person's a bad guy. We definitely we got banned them after that screenshot. That was the first screenshot. They're talking about the first screenshot that was up when they made the first reference. This one, which is strange. Yeah, again, that is again. I'm not defending that. I'm just going off on what I see on the current screenshots, and I feel like there's a lot being taken out because I feel like it was not necessary for these people to keep on going, obviously. But this Ash person genuinely seemed confused. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm not defending. I'm just pointing out what I see. As you can see above, I don't know. I'll look for the post later when I can find it because I feel like there's more screenshots to go over. But I don't know. Even then, like I'm just going off of what I see. I don't want to make any like assumptions on what I haven't seen. If that makes sense. I'm just making. Okay, hold on. That makes no sense. Wait. So I'm just making assumptions based off of what like I am personally seeing. And I'm making assumptions based off of like personal experiences. And I'm trying to connect that with like how this would obviously be offensive and how that, isn't okay. Like, just because it's a meme, like that isn't okay. It doesn't make it any less offensive. Because I can understand being hurt and seeing that, but it was not necessary for that person to call out transphobia right after that was, you know, right after that person made that like reference meme. Once and only once. So yeah, I don't know. It's just whatever. I feel like that does kind of I feel that does invalidate a lot of like transgender people's experiences where they had to deal with like actual transphobia. Um, because like I'm not trying to downplay this or anything. Like I've had people be transphobic towards me. I've had people not respect my identity. I've had people make constant jokes where they would constantly make like a joke reference that was supposed to hurt me, but then say like, "Oh, well, it's just a reference." And um like that's so bad. Like obviously that's transphobia. You shouldn't use jokes to misgender someone. Um these people made that joke once, and then this person clearly got upset by that. Um but then they called it transphobia, which made the other person who was in the situation confused and asked if they were rage baiting, which is pretty much understandable. You can't label something transphobic after there's like before someone knows something. If that makes sense. You can't say someone is being transphobic towards you. Like, okay, I like for example, like okay, hold on. You can't say someone is being transphobic towards you if they don't know your pronouns. Which these people probably just didn't know. Again, I'm not defending, I'm just going off of what I think might have happened. Um, so if that were the case, like, for example, right, I made a video saying how I don't like people using they them on me. I'll use that example too. If someone uses they them on me, knows my pronouns, knows I don't feel comfortable, probably knows I don't feel comfortable going by they them. Yeah, that's misgendering. That's transphobic. But if someone doesn't know my pronouns, that's not misgendering. Hold on. If someone doesn't know my pronouns or my labels or what I personally identify with, um, they they're gonna be like, it's not gonna be like misgendering. Especially if I haven't met that person or they don't remember me or my pronouns at all, that's not misgendering. Um, but like if if they do, then yeah, that's clearly transphobic. Well, I made a great point there before I made my other point. Hold on, fuck, wait. I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to say though, right? If someone doesn't know your pronouns beforehand, they they're not gonna know. I'm not saying like go up to someone and call them by like I'm not saying go up to a trans person and call them by like he him or she her. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like if you if you're making a reference to a meme where um it directly like you know um makes like a comment at someone's like I guess like pronoun, but like pronoun where you use like sir, ma'am, like that kind of pronoun, and you like and you're just making like a joke that does seem clearly harmless and not really as offensive as it might have initially come off as, then I don't think that's necessarily transphobic, especially if that person did kind of correct themselves. Like that person did correct themselves. They're like they correct themselves to ma'am. So I don't know. I'm again I'm not. People have different opinions about this. That's just my opinion. That's my hot take as a transgender person, as a transgender individual. Um, that's just what I personally think, right? So, I don't know. At the end of the day, people can think what they want. Um, and I'm just saying it's not fair to call that transphobic when they did correct themselves and they made that joke to you once and then they stopped. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. You can be upset and be hurt. Nobody's invalidating those feelings. It's just, it's not necessary to label something that isn't what it is. That's a lot. That's all I'll say, right? Alright. As you can see above, the mod team's response time to getting also, I'm not defending, like, trans misogyny or something. Or like whatever that person was doing. Like, I'm not saying like that was completely justified. Like obviously their behavior was bad. Their behavior clearly affected that person. Um it's just I'm just saying like I'm just going off of what I see here. I'm just making my opinions based off what I see here. Yeah, again, I'm not defending the people who made those jokes or anything at all. I'm just saying my piece. As you can see above, the mod team's response time to getting Ash and Clown banned from the server was inexcusably slow. Snowy, was directly involved in handling this case, and I would like to make a formal statement from my point of view. I sincerely apologize for how slow our response time was, and I was actively watching General 1 but did not catch on what was happening until a few minutes later, where I then went to the other moderators to discuss the problem. My first actual action was done 10 minutes after the first transphobic message was sent. But then again, is it transphobic if that person was making a reference and corrected themselves? I don't know. I feel like that, I don't know. I feel like it would make sense for someone to be confused as to why they were being called transphobic for making a reference that they already corrected themselves on. You can call it like whatever. If you wanna, I don't know. Again, I'm not here to invalidate anyone or anything. I'm just saying like it's not fair to put that label on when there wasn't any malicious intent on harming that person's that person's like gender identity. I don't know. It just feels woke to me to call something like that transphobic when they corrected themselves and you were just clearly upset and you didn't want to be called that. If you were uncomfortable with that, you could have just said that. There was no need to label that and call that like transphobic. Was sent, and that is a major failure of my duty as both mod and owner. Furthermore, the way I handled the situation was disgusting. As I sent a message saying, we'll be investigating this further and taking appropriate action. So I asked everyone to change topics. This, I never realized, was no acceptable way to handle transphobia. No. I think this was like AI generated. I'm sorry. I feel like this response is completely AI generated because that is the most accurate way to handle transphobia, especially when you are looking over a situation where someone's claiming transphobia, but there was a joke that clearly upset them and they corrected themselves, and it's the person who was upset by that joke, call it transphobic, and the other person is just confused by that being called transphobic, and that's the rage baiting, because again, that it was a joke that might have harmed that person, but it's not warranted and or even necessary for it to even be labeled as transphobic. Like, I don't know. It was clearly just like a really immature joke to make, and that person did correct themselves, and so I don't know, you know. But no, I feel like if you're gonna look over a situation where clearly it was more than just a couple of messages, you're investigating the context of the situation. You're doing the best you can. Um, like, I think if something like that did happen, you're asking people to change topics. That does stop the situation. That does stop the situation. That does stop both parties from arguing further. Especially if you do mute them both, then yeah, that's cool. Um, that's not disgusting though. I feel like the word disgusting is thrown around way too much to really be considered anything. The way I don't understand how the way Snowy handled the situation was bad at all, because again, in my again, you've heard my opinion on this. You heard my stance on this before. Um, so you know, yeah, like anyway. So while I intended to direct people to tickets for easier communication, it also silenced the voices of Cream, and it was rightfully defending her, and brushed off the transphobia as though it was nothing. Yeah, also I want to clarify, I'm not trying to do that either. I'm not trying to say, oh, just because it's a joke, like blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's, the thing is that person corrected themselves, and then after they corrected themselves, they were called transphobic. Which I don't understand the logic there. Transphobia, by definition, is to purposefully, with malicious intent, to harm someone's identity. That person corrected themselves. Again, I'm saying this as a transgender person. I know I keep repeating it, but I know I keep on repeating it, but damn, like it's so hard not to, because it's not there was no malicious intent. It was based off of a meme. This was the meme. This was literally the meme. It was based off of a meme that clearly had no actual intention um to harm this person's gender identity in the first place, especially after they corrected themselves. That doesn't silence voice. Asking people to move on from a topic where you're trying to stop a situation from escalating even further is not silencing the person being attacked, nor is it silencing the people who are defending that person. You're simply asking for the situation and the people involved to stop arguing, because it is causing conflict and causing issues within the server. That's not silencing. That's not, like, you should just mute the people and move on with it. Just mute the people and move on with it. Like, I don't understand. This is utterly wrong with me, and I am deeply sorry. I've taken my wrongdoing with full accountability, and this will not ever happen again. We have since spoken to Kareem and apologized. The transphobic members have been banned, and we will handle things better. Sorry. I keep on looking. Alright. Furthermore, a statement was released to the public addressing the misogyny 20 minutes after the bans were initiated. Furthermore, The team would like to formally address that we do not condone trans misogyny. Discrimination and hostility toward trans feminine members strictly goes... Wait. Oh, wait, my fault. Discrimination and hostility toward trans feminine members strictly goes against the values of Yumetown. Sorry, it's like the fucking grammar here is so ass. We sincerely apologize for the delay in addressing this matter. Due to internal conflicts and ongoing discourse, action and communication were delayed. We recognize that silence and inaction causes harm, and we take accountability for the oversight. We have now banned the members who were partaking in transphobia. We are actively working to ensure all forms of bigotry are handled promptly. Thank you for your patience. All right. The banning of MPreg. So I've heard that this was actually way apparently longer than racism. And yeah, it is. That's fucking crazy. Because this is just a hearsay. This is just a hearsay. I'm not gonna talk too much about this because I am not a trans male and I don't want to speak up over voices. But I do have a I do have a friend of mine who is a trans male, and we have kind of talked about the topic of MPreg, and they have told me before that they think MPreg is kind of like a joke that pokes fun at trans men who are pregnant, like making fun of them. That's their own word, so I'm just going off of what they're saying. So you know, I'm going off of what, like, you know, he's saying, and I just want to like put that out there that it's not my voice to speak out for. I'm just whatchamacallit? I'm just what do you call it, bro? Like re-saying. You know what I mean? Alright. The staff would like to state that we do not the staff would like to say that we are not against male pregnancy. The issues we had with the topic were never about MPreg itself, but when it was discussed in a way that falls under NSW categories, when discussed in an explicit or inappropriate context, it violates server rules. The situation happened due to members spamming MPreg emoji reaction, causing members within the chat to feel uncomfortable. Despite staff intervention, the behavior persisted. What concerned the staff was not the concept of male pregnancy itself, but rather the intentions behind the spam. It was utilized as a method of provoking reactions or upsetting others, whether or not it was in a humorous manner. This behavior violates rule number 6 of Yumetown: no spamming. Do not send messages in quick sequence, whether it be in text, images, GIFs, etc. As a result, the moderation team decided to temporarily add the word MPreg into Autobot filter and remove reaction perms to prevent further escalation in discussion regarding the situation of spamming. The purpose was not to make a permanent decision. However, it was included for several days. After further reflection amongst the team, we discovered that the approach was not appropriate and had removed the word from the filter. Okay. Our approach in de-escalating the situation was flawed, and we are aware that certain members found it to be sexualizing. Yeah, that's what my friend said. It kind of felt like the MPreg jokes. They said that it felt more like to poke fun at like trans men in a way, to like kind of make fun of them. You know, I don't know. Like I don't like. They told me it felt like MPreg jokes were not like necessary because the fact that it's jokes in the first place feels like it's poking fun at trans men being pregnant, and that it's kind of transphobic in its own way, and that it even said that it made them uncomfortable. Again, this is literally just their word. It's a like they. I mean, nah, not it. Sorry, I get the pronouns mixed up. They, he said that. I'm just saying. By the way, if you see me using they, it's just because I'm trying to. I have like a hard time remembering pronouns sometimes. I don't know. No, I do know. I forgot. No, wait. Sorry, I'm just rambling. Yeah, okay. 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 I'm gonna just call him by he, him then, because that's kind of all I know right now. Because if the thing says that says that he's like a trans man. Crazy shit's happening right now. Okay, sorry. Alright, oops. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm gonna just refer to him as he, him. Is this it? Wait, okay. Yeah. So, my friend literally said that even the jokes made him uncomfortable, and I don't know. I think I got like the pronouns with like the he, they thing like mixed up with another friend of mine who is also a trans man. So sorry about that, but that was a different friend of mine. The friend who I'm talking about, I think, just goes by he, him. Hold on. Okay. So, wait, mic is on? Yeah, anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, so, yeah, that's just my friend saying, again, I'm just saying I'm just going off of by what he said. Not my place to speak up. However, the latter is not our stance on the topic. The concept of pregnancy should not be banned, nor treated as inherently NSFW. We apologize We deeply apologize for this, and the team acknowledges that we should have figured out a method for monitoring rule violations without restricting the term entirely. Why not just ban or kick the person? No, not you can't kick them because the invite rarity. Why not just ban the person who's spamming the emojis or something, or at least time out the people who are spamming the emojis, or warn them at least. Ban them if they keep on doing it, of course, but like, just time them out first and see what happens. I don't understand the point of doing all this extra work when there's other shit that you could have done. Final words. We understand that trust has been broken, and for that we are deeply sorry. Over the past week, it has become evident that the way the moderation team handled issues has caused major problems, has caused major harm across Yumetown. We acknowledge that our actions, or lack of thereof, contributed to the downfall of the server. We take full accountability for the responsibility that falls on us. The staff team is created by individuals who are passionate about the community and care enough to volunteer their time and effort into monitoring a space for members to feel safe. It is disheartening that many people assume the ethnicities and races of the moderation team. Okay, fair. Ultimately, discrediting the staff who are people of color that are affected by racial discriminatory allegations. Okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's definitely an issue. We acknowledge that the majority of the team are inexperienced and still learning. But, okay, yeah, so let me say something about this. If you're gonna have to address issues about how shitty about, like, the majority of this document, which is problems caused by Snowies team themselves. It wasn't necessarily Snowy. Like, there was 1%, like 1% of the time where Snowy's only involved in this was with the alleged transphobic allegation happening in the server with these other people attacking this trans person. That was the only time where Snowy was involved, and they weren't really in the wrong. I'm scratching my head. I'm so confused. If you're gonna have inexperienced people moderate your server, that is a huge risk considering how large the server is. That is so risky to do. I could never do that. That is something so risky to do. That's something I could literally never do. And that's thousands of people. You should have experienced people who will not hesitate to put in work and effort into monitoring a server that big. Hell, they should be, like I said earlier, they should be getting paid for that. It's so many people doing, and they're doing so much work for this. That's crazy. Yeah, okay, I understand still learning and stuff, but like inexperience is not okay. You should not be having inexperienced moderators, because even that by itself, they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. No idea. They have zero qualification for any of this, especially if you're saying that they're still learning. Flaws are okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Whatever, cool. I'm not saying just because like you make a mistake that you're suddenly inexperienced and unqualified. I'm saying that if you are unexperienced to the point where your server has so many bad allegations to the point where it's universally, globally hated on, that is a problem. That is a problem. Especially when you have damning allegations like this caused by the majority of your staff members, if not half. You know? It's just like, what the fuck? Sorry. What the flip? And have made significant flaws that, in the way the team has responded to complaints, communicated, and moderated the community. Yeah, again, do not have inexperienced people moderate a huge server that contains thousands of people. that will put a huge risk and like just generally a huge like dent on not only the reputation of the server but also the reputation on Snowy. Literally, this whole situation made me think over how weird this was and how weirdly even Snowy handled this situation. And I used to be mutual of Snowy, with Snowies. Like, I literally had to break the mutual because of how they handled the situation, but also because how they lied. Like, I can't deal with shit like that, man. It's weird. That's weird. Okay. Anyway. One piece of toast. Hold on. Back. Alright. I was eating toast. Audios. Alright. Audio's on because I don't want to be talking with my mic off. Yeah, like you'll have to honestly don't expect to hire inexperienced people who like obviously can't moderate for shit and then have to deal with the consequences later. Don't be surprised when you have to hire people like that and then deal with all that shit. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised. Don't act surprised. Don't act sad. Don't act devastated. You did that to yourself. That's something you chose to do. You did that. You did that. Oh yeah, they addressed this right after my fault. Moreover, we recognize that we should have prioritized appointing experienced moderators for the Yumetown Discord. However, in our rush to release the server, we have failed to establish a strong foundation that would be capable of fostering thousands of members. Which obviously that was just something really stupid to do, because how are you gonna I don't understand this. How are you gonna open a server with low moderation, not low moderation, sorry, with like inexperienced moderation, and then act surprised that the moderators end up being shitty at their job Fork found in the kitchen? Needle found in a haystack? Wait, no. Straw found in a haystack? Like, come on now. Needle found in thread? What the fuck? Like, I don't... Ah. I hate you people. I hate you people. I hate you all. It's like, I don't... Why not just address this first and then talk about that? I don't understand. Why not address that you should have hired experienced people before... no, why hire... Wait, no, what? Why talk about how you hired inexperienced people right after just saying that you had inexperienced people? Anyway, so, yeah, I just don't understand that. Like, why be in a rush? Nobody's rushing you. You could delay it. It's fine if you delay it. Even then, like, I don't understand. I don't know how big the server is. Well, I do, but I don't know how many channels there are for you to be so quick to release something. Channels take, like, at most a few hours ahead of time. What made you feel the need to rush so quick to the point where you had to make like you had to like force yourself to start making channels? Channels take very limited time. Okay, thanks. Oh, I have coffee right now. Yeah, this is fresh coffee. I just made coffee. I just made coffee like a few hours ago. Wow. I remember that. I remember that. This unintentionally created space for miscommunication, poor moderation, and behaviors that enabled forms of education. You think? What the fuck? The responsibility this space demanded required more consideration and prioritization of proper management. God, just using BuzzFeed fucking terms, bro. You don't know anything about what you're saying. I hate the way this is like structured. I really do. It's a reflection of the team, and we are stepping back to reevaluate our entire structure. Understandably, many staff members have stepped down from their member role as well as their association with Yumetown. And with those who stayed, we want to rebuild trust with the community. Therefore, it begins with being transparent and accountable. Okay. Whether the server will never reopen or we will be rampant, the first thing we are going to do is take a step back and have each of us reflect on ourselves. Not just as moderators, but as human beings. No, why not just close down the server? Because, first of all, it took you 2 more months to make another response. 2 more months. That is useless. There is no point. Just stop. Just delete the fucking server and be on with it. I don't understand. Why keep on going? Why continue? There is no point in continuing this. There really isn't. There's no... You don't have... Do you not realize how long it's going to take? Just delete the server. Delete the community. Revamp when you're ready. But don't put this on a chokehold for more problems to reoccur, because obviously I've seen people in the quotes and the replies and the other document, and they've been saying, no, just delete it. Just delete the server. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I agree. I haven't even read the fucking document yet, and I've seen this and it's making me so angry. Like, are you gonna reflect on yourselves and be more woke? I don't understand. We strive to be honest. What each of us did in handling bigotry and moderation was wrong, and will never happen again. Okay. This is just so stupid. This is so stupid. Like there's like literally some of these don't even have anything to do with like poor moderation. Some of these don't even have to do anything with that. The server goes through a revamp. Each step we will make will be the utmost seriousness and care. People plan to... Oh wait, my fault. Did I just say that? Okay. Wait. Yeah, okay, wait, hold on, my fault. I skipped over a paragraph. A sentence. To move forward and improve, we acknowledge that a newly written rulebook or a staff guide is not going to fix issues alone. If the server goes through a revamp, each step we will make will be the utmost serious and care. But you do realize you're handling a server with thousands of members. It's not going to matter how many times you reestablish new rules or new whatever. It's going to be the same no matter what, because it's so many fucking people. Freaking people. It's so many people. You can't control everyone at once. You can't expect everyone to behave. Which is why you should not be mentally qualified enough to handle a server, especially if it's going to take you so long to handle something like this. Especially, like, you know, I don't understand. I really don't. We will plan to appoint staff experienced with Discord moderation and prioritized by POC individuals. What is a bi-person color? Do you mean like... Hold on, let me search this up. What is by POC? I've seen this term before. Oh. Wow. That term makes no sense. I'm sorry to say this, but person of color literally means and refers to anyone who is not white, who is not of white descent. There's no, like, no offense, there's no point in using by POC. Now I'm saying this as someone who is indigenous and black. And a person of color. Like all three. I don't know what else you want me to say. I don't know. I don't see the point in using that term. I don't see, but I mean, like I don't know. I'm not hating, but I just don't understand what the point is of using that term when that's literally what person of color means. From what I've seen, I saw black, indigenous, and people of color. That's what came up when I searched up what that meant. So it's just but I'm not hating. I'm just saying, like, I don't see the use of that. But it's that's cool. That's cool. Maybe I'm just not woke. Fine, you made the gay stuff. You happy? That's what you wanted, right? To win? Sorry. I'm just... Okay. And individuals to encourage cultural perspective and diversity. Okay. Maybe just don't make another server ever again. Because even if you... Hold on. Let me finish the part after reading this. Furthermore, we will train our ability to moderate opening well-informed discussions and open conversations with members of the community, as well as amongst staff to understand the needs and goals of community. From that, we will improve the server through experimenting and re-uptable auto mods. A reliable system that can be followed by staff and members. Improved forms of immediate... Hold on. You just said the auto mod was not reliable because you had to change so many different... you had to change so many different, like... You had to remove and add different... Like, remove so many different words and add so many different words. Well, no, you had to remove so many different words because the words you removed were causing problems. That's not reliability. That causes issue. You can't rely on something that causes issues. I don't you just proved that point. You proved that concept. What's the point in saying that? Okay, whatever. Continuing on. Like we followed by staff members, improved forms of immediate assistance to prevent delays and issues, as well as reflecting on the values of Yumetown and how it can be properly translated in a different space. What happened within this past week will never happen again. That is a promise we will make to you. Thank you so much for your time and patience. We hope to answer any questions to clear up any concerns regarding Yumetown. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say even as much people of color that you add, I don't know. It doesn't matter how many people of color you add to your staff, how many times that you reinstate rules, how many times that you communicate with your members. People are going to act the way they act. You cannot control how everybody acts. You cannot stop everyone individually by not doing something, because they're going to do it anyway and it won't matter. You know, I don't see that logic. I really don't see this logic. It's never, again, it's thousands of people, and it's never really going, again, you're not in control, nor are you responsible for what everyone does. Unless it's like, you know, like a moderator of yours. Like, obviously you're responsible for them. I'm saying you're not responsible for what members do in your server. You cannot control them. You're not the people who, like, you don't talk to your members. You don't, like, you just moderate them. And you talk with your moderators because you talk with them. And I'm assuming these moderators might have been like a close friend of yours, whatever. Obviously they, like, how would they not be? Because you talk with them, you talk with how they moderate, with how they should moderate, this and that, you know what I mean? Let me see something. So that fun. Yeah, wait. I'm like a thing of every top I dream of. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. Call me down, you soda pop. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. Alright, sorry. Back to topic. I was just checking something. So, yeah, like I was saying, you know, thank you so much for your time, patience. We hope to answer any further questions, clear up any concerns regarding Yumetown. Mind you, they never did this, by the way. They just kind of completely ghosted the account after they posted that. Let me look for something. Let me look for how people reacted. Let me look for the things. Wait. Okay, hold on. Take a while to like address everything because I have to leave in like a few more minutes, so I'm gonna try and speed this up as much as I can. Hold on. Yeah, this is crazy. Hold on. On additional note, this document was meant to be released sooner, but mental health responsibilities. So I apologize for deleting this document. Are we gonna address some MPreg allegations? It's in a doc. It's a black person. The fact that MPreg section is longer than the racism section actually insane to me. Right. That's the thing too. Like I don't. Right. Like this is crazy. Hold on. Look for a screenshot. Look for a screenshot. My fault. Let me. This was crazy. This is crazy. Race. This is how many words were in the document, the first document we just read. Isn't that crazy? That's like the word count apparently. Which I don't know how. This makes no sense because we just saw the word count. We just saw that. I don't know where that's coming from. How is the one paragraph of racism longer than the four paragraphed thing we just saw about MPreg? I'm confused. Yeah, we all saw that though, right? That's kind of crazy. Hold on. Oops. Okay. My fault. Wait. I think I'm tripping. Okay, hold on. We're back. So being Hispanic, Asian, Latino means you can't be racist. Honestly, I've read the document. I don't think that's what they were trying to. No, wait. I don't think that's what they were trying to get at though. I think they were trying to say that. Wait. Right. Like this was kind of crazy. But I don't think that's what they were trying to say though. They were trying to say that like they had people were assuming the ethnicities of the moderators who were Hispanic and Asian and Latino, and they were trying to say that, again, I'm not defending, but they were trying to say that that's just kind of how it was, because people kept on saying that they had like no, there was like no there was no moder like there was no black people to moderate. No, wait, no, what? There were no black moderators. From what I understand. So I don't know where this is coming up from, but that's what I got. I don't know. I'm not defending them. Maybe I misread it, or misunderstood it, but if that's what, that's what they're trying to say, then that is kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. Why is fucking MPEG section longer than diversity and racism section? This isn't real. You just titled it addressing racism and transphobia, yet you're so hyper focused with the MPEG more. MPEG more. Be for real now. How the hell are you gonna address the MPEG section longer than genuine problems like racism? The discrimination should be the very first thing I'll address, though. Just saying. True. True. No, that was. I think maybe they edited the document or something, maybe. I don't know. I think they edited the document. Because that was kind of the first thing they did address. Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. They should have banned that moderator. That moderator acted out with impulse and um in what do you call it? They acted out with an impulse and just like unfairly. Delete your account, holy jerking it. I'm crying. Who made you type that, you poor soul? This was a whole bunch of nothing burger saw. Why is everyone acting so goddamn immature and acting like the mods were the devil? Like, bro, shut the fuck up, talk, taking accountability. Something like, I know it's not y'all wouldn't. This document is basically our mods are black. We can't be racist. And then preg, no, not really. The way all these allegations are serious, and there's the banning of MPreg. Delete the host server at this point. Lord, let's have a look. Hispanics and Latinos can be racist, you bonehead. Hey, racism and transphobia, both a real problem. They're both over there. Wait, let me look. Let me actually look. I don't know. I think maybe I just misread it, but I don't misread it. What? I mean, I misread it. I don't misread it. Read it. I'm funny. I think I'm just tripping. I don't remember anything like that. Wait. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. I understand what people are saying now. But the thing is, they're saying that the race that they, oh my god, wait. Oh gosh. They're trying to say that because they muted people, it had nothing to do with their race. It had nothing to do because of the fact of race. They didn't know that they were even like people of color, which is what they're saying. Um, the thing is, yeah, people like they, Hispanic and Latino and Asian people, all those, like, they can still be racist. Um, Even if that was the case, but the thing is, it wasn't based off of like them being actually racist. They were just muting people who just so happen to be people of color, which is not the same thing as being like discriminatory. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's not the same thing as being discriminatory because discriminatory is based off of like discrimination against a minority, whether that would be like against a race or whatever. Like that's within like ill intention. That's like bad. But I get where people are saying. I get where the that's coming from. Hold on, guys. By the way, after we read this, I might have to end stream early because I have to go to therapy soon. Like, let's read this, right? Let's read this. The racism section being a small paragraph while M-head jokes take up the entire page. Twitter on Yumetown is a fucking joke. We're living in the same bizarro alternate universe. Why is racism section one paragraph saying practically nothing but corpo speech, but the fucking M-Preg section is detailed as a damn legal document? Claiming not to be racist, but calling Hispanic people Latinos, oh my fucking god. Yeah. M-Preg section being longer than stop. The M-Preg section being longer than the racist section. Alright. Oh, someone actually broke this down. Sorry for quoting 2CE, but this specific paragraph also bothered me a lot because, in my opinion, this thought process should not be used by a team of non-black people to decide whether or not black people saying the N-word is offensive. I can say the N-word. I'm just not gonna say on YouTube because I'm not trying to get banned. Love being black though. Let me see something though. I'm just reading this. This is fine. Okay. Our perspective on this as follows. We believe the server is simply not the place for slurs to be reclaimed. This is fine when it comes to racial slurs, implying that someone is racist slash race faking and saying that they prove otherwise can be incredibly offensive and awkward, so I understand this idea. Even in a lighthearted manner, Yumetown is a large server and there's a chance that members of the affected minority of racial discriminatory slurs being reclaimed would foster an uncomfortable environment. If non-black people are bothered by black people saying the N-word, that is no one that don't know about themselves. True. People are not responsible for how you feel. And people should not stop reclaiming a slur that they were discriminatorized for thousands of years, you know? I understand being uncomfortable because, like, the N-word of itself, you know, the history, but you are not the affected minority that had that used word against you, that had that word enslaved against you. You should not be uncomfortable with that, especially if you're white. You have no fucking right to be uncomfortable by a black person saying the N-word. Like, you have no right, you know? You have no right. Just want to put that out there. You have no right to be uncomfortable with a black person saying the N-word. Furthermore, potentially encourage a space where slurs can be used against minorities. Black people using a word that is in many of our regular conversations should not be treated as some kind of slippery slope. True. Truth bomb. With this issue, it poses a difficult task for staff to decipher when members are claiming slurs versus members using slurs as a means of discrimination. Figuring out the difference between actual racism and anti-blackness and a black person saying the N-word is not hard. No. No. It is. If a non-black person, I'm not sorry. If a white or non-black person is saying the N-word, and they're saying it so casually, we don't know if they're actually black or not because it's through text. Especially if they're misusing ABE, like I've made in my video, and completely just, like, utterly, like, what's the word for it? Like, I forgot what it's called. Just, you know, like, you know what I mean. Yeah. So, you don't ever really know if someone is black or not, and like I understand that the person who made this might not have known like they might have like interpreted this in a different way, like someone like just straight up like saying the N-word and then someone using the N-word in a sentence, which is probably what their thought process was, but that's not the same thing. If like that isn't, you know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm just talking, but like I have to, you know what I mean? Um, but I understand what they're saying. You know, at the same time, not really, because I think this can be talked about in so many different other ways, not just a white or a non-black person saying the N-word and then a black person being able to say the N-word. Like, it's more than that, just that, because they didn't really say any more clarification about the context of that happening. There was no screenshots. There was nothing really other more than just like, oh yeah, well, our sub team did this, our sub team tried to do that. So, you know, that's just what I'm trying to say though. Wait. After the stream ends though, we're going to talk about this second document. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the second oops. We're gonna talk about the second document. Okay. Hold on. Alright, back. The fact that MPreg as a whole as paragraph should be a concern. I understand trauma responses, but if you feel uncomfortable because of changers since MPreg is a harmless joke, not to invite anyone to go outside, I don't know if it's a big deal, it's just been pregnancy. But the thing is, I don't think we should be poking fun at trans men. I don't think that's okay, and I don't think we should be. I don't think we should be making jokes about that. Because I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just reciting what my friend said. It's his word. It's his word. Really. So. Latinos are not a race. If you don't live in America, you don't have the culture at least. You don't speak Spanish, you're not Latino. How curious that the mods are Latinos when they ask exclusively to speak English. What? You might. I love this. I love this screenshot. Is MPreg really that serious for it to be this long? Yeah, I feel like this was just really insensitively worded right here. I don't know why they worded it like that. I love this. I love everything about this. No one if your server fucking crashed and burned. The MPreg section is longer than racism. It's afterwards section. Crazy. The Sabrina Carpenter game. What is this? This is a new GIF. This is a new GIF. Oops. That's new.
兄弟，我在看这个直播，而你在努力扔着不响，太不尊重人了，兄弟！你他妈的怎么回事，兄弟？别他妈笑了，兄弟！看看你在笑，兄弟！你太不尊重人了，兄弟！你不喜欢你的脸吗？你不喜欢你的脸吗？
Sit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think let me look for more. Let me look for more things to talk about before I end this because I have 10 more minutes left. Alright, found one. This is an announcement regarding Yumetown Discord server. The server will be locked for an indefinite amount of time for the reasons written below. As you can see, the server has been put into lockdown for an indefinite amount of time. This is a decision the mods and I have been thinking for a little bit, and we have now decided that this will be the best interest for the safety and well-being of the members of the server. This is what we will be doing in the meantime while the server is closed. Rewriting and publishing a new book, rewriting the mods staff guide. Okay, but didn't you already just establish how rewriting the rulebook will not change anything? Creating and publishing mod apps only for the server. We're looking at our rules, banned words, and procedures, such as how we respond to arguments raising, etc. This is something we should have done much sooner. None of us on the team anticipate how fast the server would grow, and we did not expect this growth with the care it needed. The community itself has thousands of members. What do you mean you didn't expect the server to also have thousands of members? Take it to. Also, you just said you rushed the server. No, what does that mean? Take it to be enabled. If you have any thoughts or questions, you're encouraged to open one. We'll respond as always. We sincerely apologize for the poor decision, poor moderation this server has had thus far. We all have good faith in that this server can improve and can be good, and we genuinely will do anything to make that happen. Oh, and by the way, when I talk about when I do talk about the mpreg emoji, I'm not talking about it in I'm not talking about it in a way that I'm speaking over trans men. Again, I have a trans I have a friend of mine who is a trans guy, and he has told me this opinion of his, and I'm just reciting what he thinks because I do think it's relevant. And I'm not trying to say that people who make mpreg jokes shouldn't make it. That's not up for me to decide. That's not up to me to decide, of course. I'm just saying that, people are allowed to be uncomfortable with it. They're allowed to be uncomfortable with jokes that make them feel like, their gender is being, made fun of. So, I don't know. Shut it down. This is crazy! Get this out! Are we actually... Like, that took me an actual minute to realize what this was. What do y'all expect to happen if LMAO? Of course it'll end terribly. You won't even address the blatant racism there. I bring you all to actually hire staff to ban that people because from looking at those that you're afraid are actually neglectful to ban the most obvious issues. Exactly! Just let it go, bro. Love them deleting all the chats. Now no one can check to see how poorly the place was moderated. And /nag. Maybe I should be glad that I forgot to ever look for the link. Please get mods who are grown adults instead of little children. Children don't know... Wait, I agree with this. Don't know how to react to overwhelming situations, let alone murdering big server. Exactly, I agree. Snowy, your fave. Trust you do right things, but you use how this really talk with the mods. You admit that there is one first. Just leave that shitty server ASAP. Right, bro. So much going on. I haven't been active in the server. Crazy. Please just delete the server. So glad I was ever in that server. Here's some suggestions. Tuesday vibes. I hate this. 18 plus moderators. Mix up a little white and people of color so racism is less likely to occur. Exactly. Continue to remove old slurs and sexual things. It's also good to have moderators with different time zones to look after the server during day or night. Yeah, I like this. Me like. Are you fucking stupid? Talk about the actual issues at hand. It's not that hard. The Discord regarding the server low-key isn't good. So the server, goddammit. Thank God because some of these motherfuckers are allergic to normal. Clearly, because y'all banned people being trolled. I tried to warn you to hide me or stop. The server needs a hero. Okay. Yeah. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, I'm back. So, I also just want to say this. So they're totally okay with, like, these. Let me search this up. Wait. Let me search this up, like, real quick. Hold on. Yeah, welcome to Yumetown. Old Yumi shippers, Raikos, Gashikos, and soulbounders can live in harmony within the town of full of cheer and love. Right. So I'm confused. Why would you ban people for self-shipping with your people if that's what you allow into your community, if that's what you accept? Again, I'm a bit uneducated in this. I know we searched about what Geshikoi was, but okay, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, Raiko isn't sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. Raiko isn't the same thing as like the other term, but as Gashikoi, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Why are... Let me see this. Alright. There's that. This is so fucking weird. This is so weird. This is so weird. This is so weird. This is so weird. That is so weird. Why would you put this on public display? Why would you put this on public display, though? That is actually so strange and weird. That's not okay. Anyway, you know, whatever. That's their card, though, which is just okay. Later, I'm going to... Wait, let me look for... All that I can think of, every job I drink of, you must have a you must have a okay. I also see that... Oh, oops. I also see that they're asking for people to kind of like ask for more like information, which is crazy because you are the owner of the server that you are asking for advice for. Like, isn't that crazy? If you were asking for advice on how to manage your own server and how the problems in your own server occurs, you should not own a server. In a hypothetical sense, though. Let me read this. If you have any information on racism that occurred in the Yumetown server, please comment it below. We ask that you provide evidence as well. To be completely honest, the mods and I have not seen any racist exchanges being made in the server, nor any racist acts from the mod team. And even after we dug through countless messages and posts, we can't find anything. We can't find anything at our own despite our best efforts too. So as of last resort, we're returning to the members. I want to understand what is happening and to have discussions with members. But why not look at Twitter posts? I've been seeing Twitter posts of countless just search up human Twitter racism on Twitter. You'll find it on there. I guarantee you. So please just send any reports or questions you may have, and I respond to each of them. I genuinely want to get bottom, I really do. Racism is not at all to be something taken lightly. And even if we were aware of the aforementioned, that doesn't mean it's impossible. So then why did you apologize for your first statement if you didn't see any racism in the server? Hello? So you meant you only apologized to save whatever kind of bullshit you got going on in the server. At this point, just shut it down. Man, you guys aren't coming back from this. We never apologized for the transphobia and poor moderation that occurred in the server. We never apologized for racism because we can't figure out what happened. Don't be doing this now. You want to run back the whole final words in the original document. What you highlighted was a reference to the transphobia and poor moderation. Right, but you're apologizing for the racism even occurring. You're apologizing for how you let the racism and... Oh, wait. My fault. Wait, yeah. Even then, transphobia and racism are both problems that can literally be the same thing. They are two problems that both can reoccur. That can occur. Like, you were literally apologizing for well, what was I gonna say? For, like, disobeying your members who are trans and who wanted, like, to be in a safe space. You apologize for that. Transphobia and racism are quite literally on the same level of, well, not the same level, but, like, they're both the same category and theme of problems, is what I'm trying to say. Because they're both attacking, either way, they're both attacking on minorities. You should apologize. You should be apologizing for literally any potential racism either. It shouldn't matter if you can't find any. You should literally be apologizing for something that you know. Also, again, you're not going to always find anything because even that you acknowledge yourself that it's a really big server. You're not going to always find everything. Like, you know that there's racism going on. You know that there's people saying, oh yeah, there's racism occurring. And you try to kind of imply that Latinos and Hispanics and Asians can't be racist, which is crazy. Which I didn't even realize until someone pointed it out. It's like, oh yeah, I can kind of see how that would be it. But that just says final words. That says just final words. Nowhere does it say it only applies to transphobia and moderation. Your dog title was addressing transphobia and racism. This too, what about this? If the server goes through revamp. Why is Shedlet Sky trying? Revamp. Each step we make will be made with the utmost seriousness and care. We plan to appoint staff experienced with Discord moderation and prioritize Black. I'm trying to figure out what the I stands for. By POC individuals to encourage cultural perspective and diversity. This too, what about this? They never replied. Oh well. I'm sorry, but didn't you have an entire section dedicated to the racism happening document? We did. The document spoke up about claims that a non-black mod manually typed the end slur into automatic. We banned media members for being and that we banned such media members from being POC, but we found both claims to be false and proved what we could in that regard. There were also a section dedicated to many suggestions of more diverse team out there. But then again, you can never, even though there are reasons, you can never really speak up for what the moderator's intention was. You can't ever really prove that. That's something you can't ever really prove. So even if it was driven by racism, you don't know. You don't know. And also, I don't like how you disprove that. That is not your place to disprove. That is something that you are not allowed to do. You are a non-black person. As far as I'm aware, you are non-black. You don't have the right to disprove anything when it has something to do directly with the N-word and claims of racism. You do not have the right to say, oh, that's not true, that's not racist. You don't have that right. You can't say that claim is false. Or you can't say that the claim of it being racist is false. And you also can't really prove that it was copied and pasted either way. Even if it was typed, that is just as bad as it being manually copied and pasted, because at least it can literally be censored. Or you can just say, oh, hey, don't say the N-word, that's in the blacklist. You don't have to say the actual full-on N-word. That's crazy. Just leave the damn server. Yeah, again, but, like, stop speaking over black voices. Like, that's just weird. Today says it has found no link between itself and crack trade. So, like, GoPro, it's over. Shut up. Just go to the server. How are we fucking for real? This is literally racism from yourself. Right. Y'all didn't delete the server? This shit's still going on. Legit, just delete the server already. It's literally not even worth it at this point. Already are we serious at this current moment in time? So I think it would be just best. So I think it would just be best to delete the server. This is it, bro. Just delete the server. Roast TLDR. Why am I becoming horrible people? Girl, just delete the damn server. I think I'm gonna end this, guys. Okay. I'm gonna end this stream. What happened? Oh. I'm gonna stream. I'll stream again in a few hours. I just gotta finish making this is basically part 1 then. If that makes sense. This is part 1 to me covering this. Yeah. Alright, bye guys. See you next stream.